March CPI just gave markets a reality check. As the tariff drama dominates every headline, the inflation data quietly delivered the softest monthly print in 5 years. That's right, headline CPI fell 0.1% versus expectations for a small uptick. It's the first monthly decline since May 2020, and it dragged year-over-year inflation down to 2.4%, matching the lowest levels we've seen since last September. Under the hood, it gets even more interesting. Core CPI, which strips out food and energy, rose just 0.1%, half of what economists were expecting. That's the slowest pace since early 2021, and it brought the annual core inflation rate down to 2.8%. A lot of the usual sticky components like services, shelter, and medical care are finally showing cracks. Shelter inflation is still positive, but it's cooling. Airfare dropped over 5%, used cars and trucks continued to decline, and even insurance costs pulled back. There were a few outliers. Things like personal care and hospital services ticked up, but overall, the disinflation trend is unmistakable. And then there's energy. Falling gasoline prices helped drag the whole index lower, reflecting both supply dynamics and growing fears that tariffs could choke off global demand. Whether it's drill baby drill pressure or just recession fears creeping in, energy is no longer the inflation engine it was last year. Now, here's where things get spicy. With inflation cooling and tariff threats rising, the Fed suddenly finds itself at a new crossroads. If Powell was waiting for a reason to ease, a real reason, this might be it. The so-called Powell Put could be moving closer to the money. Because if tariffs start hitting growth and inflation isn't the threat it once was, what's stopping the Fed from stepping in? And for those analysts who warned Trump's return would reignite inflation, this data just pulled the rug out from under that argument. Well, this data just made that narrative a lot harder to defend. The numbers aren't lying. Inflation isn't accelerating, it's fading. So, while the political theater rolls on and tariffs dominate the headlines, the real market signal is in the data. Inflation is cooling fast. Now the question becomes, does the Fed pivot before the next firestorm, or does it wait until markets force its hand? Either way, the Powell Put might just be alive and kicking again.